Welcome to All Things Podcast. Q4 is here and we're very excited about it. So in this episode, we're going to talk about our plans for the Black Friday, Cyber Monday madness that's coming up, and also some of our cringiest stories from back in the Retail Arbitrage days. So enjoy the episode and like, comment and subscribe. So hello and welcome to episode 1 of All Things Podcast. So I'm Ben and this is Gage.
Hi everyone.
So this is exciting, isn't it? This is a bit more professional than what we're used to. But so Gage and I are full-time Amazon sellers. So between us, I think, it's about 5 years of full-time Amazon selling between us. So
probably closer to 6 now.
Yeah, so I quit the rat race to do Amazon full-time about 2 years ago. Gage, you never actually joined the rat race, did you?
Yeah, I had a job at Savers for a week. So if that counts, then yeah, it was just part of the rat race.
Yeah, well, I think that does count, to be fair. So yeah, you quit the rat race as well. Congrats. But yeah, so if you're not part of the Amazon world yet, you may still recognise Gage from his previous life before Amazon. So yeah, what were you up to before Amazon?
So when I was about 15, I started selling sneakers online, and then eventually got into having my own proxy company. So some of you may remember Blank Proxies. That was me and a good friend, Omar. You might know him as shawarma, the Lebanese food. And we did that for around 3, maybe 4 years. Ended the company, sold it, and now I'm full-time on Amazon.
That's incredible. 15 when you started that.
Yes. So I had my job at Savers as a little temp job, and I knew I didn't want to work a summer job because my mum wanted me to have a summer job. Mm-hmm. So I said to her, if I earn X amount of money, I think I said £500 before summer started, then I don't have to get a summer job. So ended up entering loads of raffles for these Adidas shoes, and got lucky, won one, sold it, made £100, and I was kind of hooked from there, and ended up not getting a summer job. Which is nice.
No, congrats. Well, I mean, when I was 15, I was choosing which Britney Spears poster to get or something like that. It was just this astonishing. You were literally building a proxy empire. So, how did you get into the whole coding thing? I mean, did you come out the womb coding, or
It's always something I liked. So at school, I always enjoyed doing computing and stuff like that, and always felt like the stuff the teacher taught me was really boring. So I'd just do my own stuff. And even when it came to A level, I told my teacher I'm not doing what you're doing because she'd just give us PowerPoints and just tell us to read it. I was like, I'm not doing that. So she just accepted it, and I ended up getting a C. But I'm very good.
Yeah,
much better than if I had followed what she was doing.
But yeah, you must have got into trouble at school a few times. I think you've said.
I mean, one awful time, right, was me and my friend George. We'd found a way to manipulate the school ticket system. So if you need more printer credits or your computer wasn't working, you're a teacher, you'd open a ticket and the ICT support would come and help you. So we found a way we could edit existing tickets to change what someone had said. So there was this year 8 kid, and he was these young kids, sometimes they're sheds. They think they're way too big for their boots. So me being 13 or 14 decided, right, we're going to edit the ticket and just say fuck you. He asked for more printer credits, and I just changed it fuck you ICT support, and then he got banned from using the computer for a whole term. Don't feel bad for that. That kid was a dickhead, but so I've always been passionate about it.
Yeah, no, I absolutely love that. And so what made you interested in sort of Amazon and getting into all that?
So Blank Proxies was at the stage where we had the staff and we'd automated the order fulfillment process. Our staff were handling all the support tickets. So I didn't really have anything to do anymore. So instead of spunking my life away playing League of Legends, which, for a period of time, I was just playing League for 8 hours a day because I just had nothing else to do.
Sounds like a decent life, to be fair.
Yeah. If you want to kill yourself every night. So started going to the gym, and then my friend Alex, he said, I saw this thing on TikTok people are selling on Amazon. And I kind of thought, that's bullshit, but I literally have nothing else to do. Let's go and do it. And we went to Home Bargains one day, got a whole car full of stuff, and the rest is history.
Love it. So was this sort of back at the start of sort of when lockdown started? Because it was sort of 2020, the early days of that when I got started.
Yes.
It was basically impossible to go into Home Bargains or B&M and not walk out richer.
Yes, yeah. We would really take advantage and go to all the local Home Bargains and B&Ms. I mean, the first day we did it, we knew absolutely nothing. And we came with an app called Selleramp, and that's all we knew. So went around, scanned everything, and we went from 9 till like 7 p.m. and we had 2 whole cars full of stuff. And then we got home to actually ship it, and like 60% of the stuff was restricted, and we had to return like 60 air fresheners back to Home Bargains.
That was interesting.
Horribly embarrassing. And then the manager's like, "Oh, why are you returning these?" And you're just like, "I'm an idiot, that's why."
Yeah, I mean, the amount of bullshit stories I've made up from back in the RA days of like, I've got like 17 children and all shit like that. It's like, why have you got these 17 identical Legos? Like, I've just got a big family, mate. It's yeah, dude, you've got to be able to think on your feet and spin some stories to get into that.
The best excuse is my mum told me to do it, especially if you're older, because then they think, oh, what a loser. Like, your mum's just telling you to do things, and then they just won't question it.
I'm gonna have to try that.
I've only learned that recently, though, but that is a good one.
Yeah. So you went straight into selling on Amazon. You didn't do eBay or anything beforehand.
No, I didn't want to do something where I was going to have to put in lots of effort shipping stuff. So eBay you have to do direct to customer, whereas Amazon you can just send everything to Amazon and let them handle all of the customer service, because that's something I never enjoyed. Was the customer. It was the worst part of owning the proxy company. It was like, oh, it's not working on this site, and it's like, oh, just kill me.
Yeah, so I actually started on eBay. So back right at the start of lockdown, I was working a corporate job at Vodafone. We were all sent to work from home, sort of March, April 2020. And I was basically like, right, I want to find something productive to do with this free time that I've got, because I'm not in the office, so I can doss a bit of work, and obviously can't play football or see mates or whatever. I don't just want to watch Netflix and get fat like pretty much everyone else in the UK. So yeah, I stumbled across some guys on Twitter who were doing the buying and selling thing, ended up joining a group called Products for Profit, and yeah, it was basically all retail arbitrage, and it was eBay. Sort of the group didn't sort of get onto Amazon until later that year. So yeah, I got the bug. My first sale was a chiminea. Before joining that group, I didn't know what the fuck a chiminea was, but it's like a fire pit type
I'm
thing.
still not sure.
Yeah. But as soon as you get the dopamine hit from that first sale, it's the rest is history. So I would be sort of queuing up outside B&Q trying to get hot tubs. Did you sort of get involved in the hot tubs? Because that was a real
No,
big thing.
I didn't really. I had quite a small car at the time, so I didn't think I was going to manage.
Yeah, so but hot tubs were the first real sort of big high ticket item that I went for. So basically, if you found a hot tub, you're basically going to at least double your money. Or yeah, if it's an expensive one, you're going to make 400-500 quid minimum, because obviously people couldn't go away. So yeah, they wanted to like entertain themselves in the garden or whatever. But there was one time I was queuing up outside B&Q. So sometimes you had to wait for an hour literally to get in the store, and often there wouldn't be anything in there. But yeah, one time I got in there, so yeah, B&Q Reading, got in there, and yeah, there was the mother load, and it was a Hawaii it was a Hawaii hot tub, but it wasn't just a normal Hawaii, it was a Hydrojet Pro. This was a serious bit of kit. It's like 50 kilos. I just about managed to get it onto my pallet truck.
He talks about it like it's his first love.
Oh, it literally is. So I bought it. I think it was 700 or 800 quid. Dragged it outside, and literally I was walking past the massive and growing queue of customers outside B&Q. Got it up to my car, so it was like a small hatchback Audi A3, and then opened the boot, tried to get it in, and it sort of got stuck. I was like, oh shit. So I was like putting all my weight behind it, trying to get it into the car, forcing it. I was like, fuck, this thing's now half in, half out. People in the queue were literally laughing at me, pointing and laughing at me as I was doing this, because they probably knew what I was up to, because there were other people trying to get hot tubs as well. But I was like, oh, I can't do the walk of shame and go and return it having just bought it, especially knowing the money that I could have made on it. So I live about sort of 40 minutes from Reading, and this was, there was a bit of a pandemic going on at the time. So, yeah, didn't want to sort of be driving along the M4 with half a hot tub sticking out my boot. So I wanted to find someone who lived nearby. I didn't want to call one of my mates because, obviously COVID and stuff. So I did what any respectable bloke would do and contacted a girl from Tinder that I'd been I met just before lockdown, who lived around the corner. So I called her up and I was like, right, this is going to sound strange, but can I bring a hot tub to your house, please? And yeah, it ended up she said okay to it. I took it over to her house and then I had to hire a van to go and pick it up the next day because obviously my car wasn't big enough. So yeah, the story ends in a happy ending in more ways than one, actually. So Sophie, on the very slim chances you're watching this, thank you for helping me make 500 quid and selling my first hot tub. But also fuck you for ghosting me 2 weeks later.
At least you got the hot tub, so got the bag, left, fine.
Yeah, and then off the back of that, I actually started a hot tub rental business because I could see the demand for these hot tubs, and it was crazy. This Hawaii massive one was obviously a high-end one, but you could pick up an entry-level one for sort of 200-300 quid. People literally pay £200 just to rent one for the weekend. So if you buy a small 4-person hot tub for like 300 quid, by the time you've rented it out twice, you're in sort of pure profit. Yeah, it's just minus your time, but. So yeah, I had 5 of these on the go, and I was literally making £1,000 a weekend just setting these up. They take about half an hour to set up, but it's the taking down that's really nasty. And there's only so many pubes and bits of cum you can scoop out of a hot tub filter before you start questioning your life choices. So yeah, that only lasted a couple of months. But yeah, there's a side hustle idea if any of you are interested.
Yeah, if you don't mind scooping out cum, then do the hot tub rental.
Yeah, absolutely. So, but yeah, this was all very much when I was still in my sort of eBay and Facebook Marketplace phase. And have you done much Facebook Marketplace as well?
I absolutely hate it. So I sometimes do a little bit of Facebook Marketplace when I absolutely have to and can't sell the stuff on eBay. Yeah. But it's a bit dangerous where I live because there's a lot of scammers around and. You kind of have to do like a Facebook profile check, like, are they on a horse? You've got to add things up if you see what I'm implying.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, Facebook Marketplace can be good. It's all cash in hand. That's all I'll say about that. But yeah, I mean, the scariest part of Facebook Marketplace is that you really start to get a feel for how stupid the average person is.
Yes.
And the real scary thing is that half of people are even stupider than the average person, and those are the people who are on Facebook Marketplace. So yeah, some of the
conversations you have,
it's unbelievable. There was one woman who literally, I gave her directions to my house. I gave her the postcode. I literally said it's 50 yards down the road on the left. It's got this car outside it. She still couldn't find it, and I was like, I'm not coming out to find you. Your B&M mirror will just have to go to someone else. But then Amazon is where it all changed because you obviously got in early, which is brilliant because FBA is just so much more convenient because you ship everything into Amazon in one go. You're not because I was staying up till 4 a.m. If I had a busy day on eBay and I'd have work the next day. And I feel like such a hypocrite. I was managing a team of engineers at Vodafone. I can safely say this now. Now I quit 2 years ago. But during team meetings, I'd be sort of saying, oh yeah, how's your week gone? I'd be packing up some swing ball set or something that I bought from B&M to sell to send to someone up in Newcastle or wherever. It was pretty eye opening. But as soon as I got the bug for it, and the more time I put into eBay and Amazon, the more money I would make. But with my day job being on a flat salary, I can go above and beyond, or I can do the bare minimum, still get paid the same. So you can sort of figure what more of my time went into.
I had a mentor client that worked in the council, and he's always on a call with me, and he's always sourcing. I'm like, when do you actually do work? Because he's working from home. And he's like, oh, it's a strange thing because I'm meant to set up this like questionnaire form, but the woman who's meant to send me the questions hasn't sent me the questions. So I have nothing to do. So it's just like, I've been waiting for it for 2 weeks, haven't done a single thing. And it's startling the inefficiencies in like big companies or the council or whatever, that someone can just get away with doing absolutely nothing for 2 weeks because they're just waiting on the questions from some other woman.
It's unbelievable the stuff people get. I mean, didn't Twitter like fire 75% of their staff or something? Still operates the same, if not better. If anything, it's just there's so much like just people working for the sake of working and doing fuck all and getting paid for it. And actually, there's a few people. This is so class. So there's a bunch of people who just take on like 5 remote jobs at the same time. I think people who are in software development, they'll just take 5 jobs on and just do the bare minimum. And if they're making sort of so they're absolutely coining it in. Obviously, they end up getting fired because they can only spend an hour a day on each job. But for a lot of jobs, an hour a day is all you need.
And for something like software engineering, it's very difficult for someone who doesn't know how to code to estimate how long a job is going to take. Because something that might sound really complicated might take you 20 minutes, but something that sounds really easy might take you 8 days. So, when I did freelance coding, and I did some freelance coding for you initially. I'd estimate how much time it would take. So I'd break it down, put like half an hour for this, an hour for that. And then every time, just double it. Double the time, because that's how long, it might take me. And then you just say, it's going to be 2 weeks, but it might only be 2 hours work. But you got to make it seem like it's complicated. You got to make it seem a bit more complicated than it is.
That was so funny. When you started doing developing in ATA, you'd be like, this is quite a big job. It's going to be at least 12 hours work in 2 weeks' time. You'd come back to us. But now you're obviously on board as co-owner. It's like, can you do this? Oh yeah, I just did it in 5 minutes. Brilliant. And it's like, you bastard. But the game's the game, right?
Yes, yeah.
So throughout COVID, there were so many different sort of trends, and sort of hot tubs was one of the big one, and then we had printers. Printers was fun, wasn't it? And I think that's where we sort of met for the first time in another group.
Yes, and I think it was Arbitrage Ops.
Yes, that's it. So basically, most people in office jobs were working from home. This was sort of end of 2020, start of 2021, and that's when they started closing the schools as well. So obviously kids were being homeschooled. So pretty much most family homes needed a printer. And we pretty much had the entire printer like market by the ballsack.
Yes.
But they would come into stock on Amazon. We had monitors on them, and we would just grab all the stock and then sell them at like 2-3 times the price. These absolute piece of shit printers like Epson, what were
2100.
Oh, the 2100. So what were they? They were like 40 quid to buy.
Maybe even 35.
Yeah, and selling them for up like between 120 and 150.
Yeah, getting some sales 150.
And still getting returns for them now, by the way. They are pieces of shit.
They have like a 20% return rates because they are so awful.
Yeah.
And we had monitors set up for Amazon, Ryman, Wilco, every site that was stocking them. And I remember on Ryman, every day at 3 a.m, they would restock them. So I used to be setting my alarm for 3, waking up and then going back to sleep. But eventually I'd just build a bot, and then I'd wake up and I'd have like 80 printers from Ryman. Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
I remember that during the day once when Ryman restocked, and we were just there because it was max 2 or 3 per order, and we were just like rinse, repeat until we literally bought them out ourselves. It was absolutely incredible.
I had a funny time with Wilco with the printers. So the monitor pinged, and so I had a little group with maybe like 12 of us where all my monitors would go off and people would pay me a small amount of money every month to have access to the group, but it was very exclusive. But what I used to do is, and I think nobody knows this, I'd have a delay. So I have my own private message. Nice, and I have a slight delay for the others. So I get the ping for Wilco. I add 200 to my basket. There's no order limit for some reason, and the shipping's $3.39 for 200 printers. Not each. That's the total for the whole order. So I think brilliant checkout. Everyone gets some after, but as soon as I place an order, they add the max limit of 2.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so everyone's stuck with the 2 limit, and then I get a call from Wilco being like, oh, hi, I see you placed a 200 order, and I think, oh, fuck, they're going to cancel it. And they go, I see you paid $3.39 shipping, you're going to have to pay more shipping than that. And they wanted like £200 to put it on a pallet. and I negotiated them down to 50, and they just brought the whole pallet to my mum's house.
That's incredible.
It was multiple pallets. It was a lot of printers.
And then, straight on Amazon, and they sold like hotcakes, didn't they?
Yes.
It was unbelievable because everyone needed a printer, and the supply chain was fucked.
Yeah, it was unbelievable.
Yeah, and then I remember doing my first big Amazon to Amazon, where you're ordering from Amazon to sell back on Amazon, which sounds counterintuitive, but it's a really good business model. I bought 100. I think it was the XP 4100s. They were really good.
Actual good printers.
Ordered 100 of them to my house, and literally the entire downstairs of my house was just full of these printers. I think that there's a picture on my Twitter. If you go back far enough, I'll try and dig it out. That was the point where I was like, there must be a better way. And then that was when discovered the prep center, the wonders of the world, that you can actually order stuff in your name to a third-party warehouse, so you don't actually have to see or touch or have your house full of printers or whatever random crap you're selling. So that changed the game for me because I got some very strange looks from the neighbours. There was some ride-on llama thing. That this was probably before your time. I think it was a product. I think it was a products for profit lead. But basically, I ordered 3 of these. I didn't realise they were so big. These are literally like 1.5 meters high, and they come in a box which shows what it is, and it's like this little girl riding a llama thing. Bear in mind, I'm a single guy in his 30s, just living in a house in quite a family area. My neighbours took 3 of these in for me because I was out at the time, probably at B&M or something. And got a very strange look when when I went around today. I was like, "Oh, have you got delivery for me?" And they're like, "Yeah, you've got these these ride-on llama things," and they know I've got no kids or anything. Yeah. They definitely think I'm a pedo, but yeah,
you live and you learn.
Got to burn some bridges to get the dough right.
My mum was unbelievably annoyed at me when I was getting these printers in because the doorbell would just go non-stop. And that's when I knew I needed to switch to a prep centre because she was just pissed me all the time. I mean, I'm allergic to dogs, and she got a dog. So I was living at my mum's house. Yeah.
Yeah, cheers, mum.
Yeah, so it was just like hell for me every day at my mum's house. So I knew I needed to get the prep centre.
Yeah, and that changed the game, and obviously we have our own now, which is quite exciting. But yeah, more on that later. So, but we didn't actually meet in Arbops, did we? We met before that by a mutual acquaintance.
My brother, he was best friends with you at school, wasn't he? You guys are still friends now.
Yeah. It's unbelievable. So, yeah, but we should get him on as a guest. That'd be pretty fun.
Yes, he is unbelievably smart. Had like a scholarship to Oxford for maths. He's basically a genius. But I feel like he has no emotion. I feel like he's like a robot. I absolutely hate him. I think maybe it's just because I'm jealous because he's so clever.
Yeah, but when Gage is the dumb one of the family, it's a pretty smart family, right?
Yeah, he's so rich that his daughter's like a third birthday or fourth birthday, they did at this Mayfair private members club that's like $4,000 a person. Yeah, that's the type of money Seb has.
Yeah, that's pretty unbelievable. So yeah, it was what, November 2020 when PS5s came out. So
yes.
So yeah, he because he knew I was doing the buying and selling thing, and he said, "Oh, my brother's coding a bot for John Lewis to automatically check out PS5s. Do you want me to put you in touch with him?" And I was like, well, yeah, obviously. And then, he introduced us, and the rest is history.
The bot did not work, by the way.
Didn't at all.
I was very confident because I managed to get the mobile endpoint to add it to cart, so I thought it would kind of bypass all of the traffic on the main website, but it just didn't. So a bit of a flop, but it's how we met, and I remember you were doing well on eBay and you were now doing well on Amazon with the printers. And I told you should just quit your job. And you said, like, oh, but then what are we going to sell after the printers? I was like, there's going to be something. It doesn't matter. There'll be something to sell.
Yeah, I remember that conversation quite vividly, actually. Because I was quite reluctant to leave my job because I'd spent years like working my way up the ladder sort of thing and had what most people would say is a decent salary. So, yeah, like if I was sort of in my early 20s and not earning much, then it's an easier decision. But yeah, I wanted to sort of make sure that I had everything in place and it was actually sustainable, because obviously, yeah, printers was a huge trend, but obviously, yeah, the supply chain was going to correct itself and the demand would die out, because I mean, once you've sold a printer to every house in the UK, what do you do now? But yeah, more that there's always a new trend. Now in sort of post-lockdown days, it's kind of, yeah, there's fewer big trends. I mean, we had air fryers around a year ago.
Yeah, air fryers, kayaks and pools.
Yeah, kayaks and
that
pools
was a good one.
Yeah,
Kayaks and pools were much bigger than the air fryers. Air fryers were good, but only if you kind of predicted it a little bit.
Yeah.
And yeah, then there's not been many trends since. You just have to sell consistently.
Yeah, and I think the big key now is it is more difficult. There's no doubt about that, because yeah, and a lot of people come into they like, right, I want to sell on Amazon. They want to make a quick buck. But it's not that easy anymore. I mean, back in 2020, if you're buying a hot tub for 400 quid and selling it for £1,000, you don't need a tool to tell you that's profitable, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, now the margins are slimmer, and you do need to learn how to interpret the sales data and everything like that. But most people on Amazon haven't got a clue what they're doing, and you see that a lot with the pricing that you see and the decisions that some sellers make, and there's still definitely a lot of money to be made.
It's a shame, because I got all of my friends selling on Amazon during printers. You know, we were all raking it in. All my friends made thousands, and you know, as soon as the printer trend stopped, I noticed they stopped as well. They tried, but then, you know, a 30% ROI product doesn't look good when you've been selling printers for 500%.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whereas, like, where else can you earn 30% consistently? You know,
yeah,
nowhere.
It's ridiculous. And bear in mind, this is 30% in a month.
Yes.
It's not 30% over a year. Bear in mind, people put their money in savings account and get 5% in a year.
Yeah.
We're talking 30% in a month, and it's like, oh, dude, I don't want to take only 30%. It's mad.
No, so pretty much all of my friends quit. Like, only one or two do it now, but they were all raking it in during printers.
Yeah, and I find it really awkward when my friends ask me to help them, because so many have asked, and because they think it's sort of a get-rich-quick scheme, which it isn't. So few people are willing to put the work in, but I have had a couple of friends who have put the work in and are doing well from it now, but.
I hate it when people ask, like, people I know ask, because you know they're not going to do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like 99% of the time, they just don't do it.
Yeah.
Like, I'll send them a video or I'll send them instructions, and then it's like, you didn't even do the first step.
Yeah.
Like, you don't even have the account.
Yeah.
You put zero effort into it. Deeply frustrates me.
Yeah, it's a bit of a minefield. But yeah, we're now at time of recording officially in Q4, which is exciting. So yeah, basically for anyone in e-commerce, Q4 and the Christmas period is absolutely huge, because basically everyone goes batshit crazy for Christmas.
Yes.
And so this is our third Q4 selling on Amazon.
Yes. I feel like it could be our fourth.
Yeah, so I started November 2020, so I didn't have a clue what I was doing. I pretty much missed that one. So yeah, 21, 22, 23. So it's my third proper one, I would say.
I started in September of that year.
Oh, okay, yeah. So yeah, I made so many mistakes in my first Q4. I just thought, Q4 toys, but a lot of people had that trend. But a lot of people had the same idea, and basically don't buy anything from Playmobil because it will all tank. There will be a huge sale for Playmobil in November. Please avoid it. It will tank. Everything will tank. But yeah, basically everything goes crazy in December, because like it was a lot of stuff like perfumes, anything. I mean, if you stuff around the sort of 30 to 50 quid range seems to be the sweet spot, and it's absolutely insane. Things that normally sell 30 a month sell 30 a day in sort of mid-December. It's absolutely insane. So if you can prepare and purchase well throughout November, where you've got Black Friday, Cyber Monday. I mean, it's pretty much Black November now, isn't it? There's so many sales on. You can set yourself up for success.
I had a great first Christmas, actually. I sold loads of chocolates, and where I was always going into B&M for these air fresheners, I was always getting them. They did really well. I got to know the manager. So then the manager eventually, after I'd come in enough times, gave me his number, and I would just text him whatever items I'd want in what quantity, and he'd have them waiting in the store for the next time I came. So you don't have to wait in the queue or anything. He'd open up a separate checkout, help me load them in the car. It was brilliant. And when it came to Christmas, I was selling Terry's chocolate oranges. I'm sure everyone's had a Terry's chocolate orange at one point.
Probably bought one from you, no?
Yeah. And I was buying them for £1 each, which isn't like a crazy low price. You get them pretty much anywhere for £1. And a 3-pack on Amazon was selling for £12. Mm-hmm. So I'm spending 3 and I'm getting 12 after fees and shipping. It's still really, really good. So I was just ordering 1,000. Like, I want 1,000. And he'd just given to me. I'd filled the whole car up with chocolate oranges. My car stank of chocolate oranges.
Did chocolate oranges have a smell?
Yeah. Smell of chocolate fucking orange.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah. Have you ever eaten a chocolate orange? They're very distinct smell when you open them.
I know the taste of them. I don't remember them having a smell, but I'd imagine if you got 1,000
it's
of them,
ingrained into my mind now. And then just go home prepping them. But just loads of chocolates my first Christmas. It was really, really good.
So you're basically the only person in the world who has click and collect for B&M.
Yes, yeah.
Private service. So are you still in contact with him now? Or?
I'm not, but every time So now I just go to B&M just for stuff for my house. If I want some cheap toilet cleaner or whatever, I rarely do any RA anymore. Sometimes, and anytime I see him, I go, all right, Gage, blah blah blah. And even once I had the biggest order, the biggest checkout they'd ever had there was like £1,600, and he asked for my ID. I thought, oh, that's just normal. Maybe it's just because they want to do a fraud check or whatever, because it's above 1,000. I don't know. Give him my ID, and he goes, oh, you're 18 or 19. And then it says, oh, what alcohol would you like to drink? I'm like, oh, I quite like Bacardi. And he just hands me a bottle of Bacardi, and it's like, just take it.
Wow, that's unbelievable.
Yeah, I love that guy.
And yeah, so I mean, I started with RA, but I'm old and lazy, and I don't have the enthusiasm that you young kids do. So even if you tell me there's an item at B&M now that you're going to make 20 quid profit on, I just can't be asked to leave my house. I'm too lazy. Yeah. Online arbitrage has made me incredibly lazy. Yeah. And I'll admit that. But retail arbitrage is a great way to get started, simply because there's a lot of people like me who can't be asked to leave their house. So yeah, if you get the SellerAmp SaaS phone app, it's got a scanner in it. You can even scan stuff around your house, and it'll bring up the Amazon listing for it. But yeah, the really good way to start is just to go around B&M or Home Bargains, scan everything in the store, input the price, see what's profitable, and go from there. And I'm sure we'll put a link for that in the description below. We can do that now.
Yeah. I remember when I first started, I would be so enthusiastic about going to B&M. Like, I'd go to make 20 quid. Like, the first thing when I wake up in the morning, I'd go to B&M, like, check for air fresheners, just like every day, and just enjoy doing it. It was better than playing League.
Yeah, and stuff like air fresheners are great because they're like a consumable item. So people buy one, they use it up, and then they need more. It's not like printers. Well, I guess when printers break, so the Epson 2100 is basically a consumable item. But yeah, there's money in the unsexy things, because obviously we've had the big trends. We've had the hot tubs, the printers, the air fryers, kayaks. But actually, the more consistent money is just buying everyday shit that people need again and again and again.
Yeah. I do have a story regarding the air fresheners. So, again, this is like right when I first start, and I'm still in the sneaker mind space of I need to buy anything that's good. I need to buy loads and loads of it, because I've learned from the sneaker space, if something's doing well, you have to burn the loop as quick. Like, you have to burn it as quick as possible. You have to get as much shit, because it's gonna die. So in my head, I'm thinking I need thousands of these air fresheners. So I can't get thousands from B&M and Home Bargains because I didn't yet have the connection. So I'm looking online, and Sainsbury's are doing it like an offer for the same price B&M and Home Bargains are doing, and they're doing it online. Mm-hmm. So I order 700 for click and collect, because that was the max that they'd let me. And I go 2 days later, I turn up, and the guy doesn't have my order like on his sheet. I go, oh, I show him the emails like this time. He's like, oh, sorry, I don't know my sheet. You should like go upstairs and check. So I go in, I speak to the manager, and he's like, yeah, you can't order that many. We cancelled your order. Okay, brilliant. So then I'm with my friend Alex, and we just walk to the like home aisle and find air fresheners on the shelf. There's like maybe 30 of them. So we just grab the shelf, take it to the checkout, and the manager runs over right as we're about to pay, and he goes, "Don't let them check out. Don't let them check out. They're not allowed to buy any air fresheners." And we're like, "What? Like it's just 30 air fresheners?" And the manager's like having a go at us. Alex is arguing back with him. And then the security guards come over, like him and Alex are squaring up, and I'm just like thinking, fuck, we could just like all this over 30 air fresheners is probably going to make us like 60 quid. Like what is the point? But Alex loves to argue with people, so like now all the staff coming over, it's just a big shouting match. And this probably goes on for 10-15 minutes of them shouting at each other, the security guard and Alex threatening each other, and then the manager turns to me and he goes, "Oh, the payment actually went through. Those are yours. Like, we can't stop you taking them."
That must have been a pretty sweet feeling.
Yeah, and we just get the receipt, we get the air fresheners, and we just leave. And where I live is the biggest Sainsbury's in the country.
Did you get banned or something? Or?
Yes, yeah. The manager did ban us because Alex was just threatening everyone. So we did get banned, and then actually Alex contacted the manager above the manager that we saw.
Oh, wow.
On like LinkedIn or something, and explained the situation about how we were trying to spend like thousands of pounds and we weren't allowed to, and we got unbanned.
Oh, nice.
So I can visit my local Sainsbury's again, and that's where I do my shopping.
Yeah, yeah.
And I still see the security guard every time, and he like always looks at me. I don't know if it's in my head, but I feel like he remembers.
That is pretty funny. So yeah, you do have to sort of negotiate your way through difficult positions when you're doing RA, especially because during sort of lockdown and stuff, technically it's meant to be essential journeys only. So just really needed 30 air fresheners or 700 ideally. But I remember, so I got one up on the local Argos manager because do you remember the LS14 sewing machine?
Yes, yeah.
They were a nice little earner. I did end up overbuying considerably at one point, which those who know me will remember. But basically these were, so you could Amazon to Amazon them, so they go on sale for about 80 quid, I think. Sell them for as much as 200. I think 180, 190 was sort of the going rate. But Argos also stocked them, but it was maximum of 10. So we were doing sort of printers as well at the time, weren't we? It was around that stage. So yeah, I was doing the rounds, buying 10 sewing machines and 10 printers and whatever else from each Argos around the area. And then one, basically, I mean, in anyone's RA journey, you're always going to come across a Karen at one point. And yeah, mine was at Newbury Argos. So yeah, I basically got my my 10 sewing machines. I'd ordered them, and then they were like, "Oh no, we're cancelling your order, you're banned." And I was like, "Oh, what the fuck?" But like, I couldn't be asked. I didn't do an Alex and argue with them. I'm just like, okay, whatever. The game's the game.
That's exactly what I'm like. Yeah.
So, but what I did do is when I got home. So Argos's delivery service is dependent on the local stock. So I knew that the local Argos to me had 10 of these sewing machines. So I ordered them for home delivery. And this was it was at like 8-9 o'clock that I'd been and failed to pick these up. 8:30 the next morning, I had 10 delivered to my house that were already in the store waiting for me, and I was like, "Yeah, fuck you, Karen." So yeah, got one up on them. But yeah, you don't have to deal that so much online, do you?
No.
But you do have, like, there's certain retailers where they will ban. So Boots, for example, if you order more than sort of 5 or 6 units of anything, they're likely to cancel your order.
I'm sure some people have experienced because I've heard this story from multiple people. I ordered like multiple PS5s, and this woman, same woman for everyone, by the way, calls me up and she's angry. She's pissed that I ordered multiple PlayStations. Like, I've just taken food out of her baby's mouth. And she's like shouting at me, like, "Why'd you order them?" I'm like, "Where? Like, who are you from?" Like, "I'm from Very." And multiple people have told me they've had this conversation with this woman, and she's just pissed. I don't know why she takes it so personally.
Yeah, it's incredible how sort of entitled some people are. I mean, a PS5 isn't an essential item.
No.
It's like if you're if your shithead son doesn't get a PS5 for Christmas, well, maybe you should have been quicker at getting them, or joined a group that's.
If I'm
that's
selling
getting all this
COVID
stock.
test kits or something, like then I get it. But it's like I'm selling a fucking PS5.
Yeah, there were some people, back in lockdown who were sort of fighting over plaster and stuff in B&Q.
Really?
Like, literally, yeah, that. I would draw the line at that as well personally. Like if you're stopping people from making a living and stuff. So I think someone actually got punched in the face. Like, so he bought 10 bags of plaster for whatever, sold it for 4 times the amount, and the guy bought it off him and then just punched him in the face. And well deserved, I think.
Yeah, I'm actually banned from my local JD as well, on the same kind of shopping estate.
JD?
Yes, because there was these like children's like toddler Jordans. And my Chinese bulk buyer, when I had a Chinese bulk buyer, he'd message me like, "Oh, I need these," and I was only going to make like I think £40 a shoe, but it was good because it was a toddler shoe. Usually, you don't make any money on a toddler shoe. So I see them in the window in JD. I'm like, "Oh my god, brilliant!" I didn't go there for them. I was just in the area. Walk in, and I asked one of the staff like, "Oh, what sizes and how much stock do you have of this shoe?" He shows me like how much, and I just look at him and I go, "I'll take every single one." And then he's like, "Oh, okay." Walks back, and he doesn't walk. He walks into the back. He doesn't walk back out. The fucking manager does. This like old woman, and she comes out screaming at me like, "Why do you want to buy these shoes?" I didn't think I was going to get any resistance at JD, right? So I didn't have an excuse planned. So I just said, "I'm donating them to a children's hospital," right?
Oh,
and she just said, "Liar, you're a liar," and called security and banned me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Karens can appear in the least expected places.
Yes.
That's the moral of that story, I think.
I should have said I got 15 brothers and sisters.
Yeah, you might have got away with that.
Yeah.
So there's probably people watching this who think that, now we're out of lockdown, we're out of COVID, the easy money is gone, which is probably true. But do you think it's too late to get into Amazon?
No, it's definitely much more competitive than it was now, than it was 3 years ago. I mean, 3 years ago, you could get away with having no knowledge at all.
Yeah.
You could just buy whatever, you see that it's profitable, and that's that. But now there's lots of people who kind of don't know what they're doing that potentially ruin it for the rest of us. What do you type of think?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, people ask if sort of Amazon's saturated. That's sort of the buzz phrase, and I think it is saturated, but it's saturated with idiots. It's saturated with people who don't know what they're doing. It's saturated with fake guru types who can see that there's lots of money in it, so sell on Amazon for 5 minutes and then promote their course or mentorship or group or whatever. But there's still really good money to be made for people who are willing to put the work in and actually understand the data behind the sales, because that gives you an advantage not just over your purchasing but also your pricing. So a lot of people will, if something tanks in price, so if it gets posted to a group and 200 people buy the same item, obviously it's going to drop in price. But usually this leads to the sales rank improving, the sell-through rate's going to improve, and a lot of things that tank actually recover. And if you're just patient and understand the data and not panic, it gets back to what it was before and even sometimes higher. So
yeah, I think if you know what you're doing, Amazon's a very good place to be. But if you're kind of not prepared to learn, you can get burnt pretty quick. Because I've seen people who, they see a really good product, and I think this goes back to the sneaker mentality. They buy 1,000 of them.
Yeah.
They need to get it done, and then by the time they send it in and Amazon check it in and your listing's available, the listing's gone to shit.
Yeah.
And you have way too many. You have 6 months supply of this product that isn't doing well. So you have to switch mentalities, and there's opportunity everywhere with Amazon, and you got to pick the places that not everyone is going to. You want to have your own little niche or area of expertise, and then I think it's very good.
Yeah, absolutely. And your favourite phrase that you coined in ATA, go wide and not deep.
Yes, wide, not deep.
So you want to, instead of going deep on 1 or 2 items and buying 6 months of stock, you want to instead buy 1 month's worth of stock or 2 months worth of stock of a lot of different items, because some stuff will drop in price, and that's inevitable. But if you've only got 3 items and 2 of them drop in price, then you've got your business is failing. But if you've got 100 items and 2 of them drop in price, then it's not so big of an issue, and it just means you can turn your capital over quicker. Because if you've got 6 months worth of stock, you need to wait 6 months to get a return and get your money out.
Yeah.
And because cash flow is king in the Amazon game, and you just want to be turning over your money as quickly as possible.
I always like to think it's like playing a game of poker against the world champion. Is potentially you're going to win a few hands just because there's variance, but always the professional poker player is going to beat you. So, some of the listings are going to go to shit, whether you're a pro or a novice, and some of the listings are going to win, whether you're a pro or a novice. But if you understand the data, you're going to find that more of your listings win, and of course some of your listings are going to lose, but the wins outweigh the losses.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a really good way of looking at it. So I would say the majority of people who started selling when we did, when it was easy, it was a piece of piss. As I said earlier, you didn't need a tool to tell you that, if you're selling something for triple the price, you're going to make money on it.
Yeah.
And a lot of the people did make good money then, but when it got harder, they dropped out. And some people join now seeing the results that people got then and think it's a get-rich-quick scheme, but they drop out as well. But the people who are still doing it now, who started when we do, who, made the easy money, used that to build up their capital very quickly, now we're in a great position, because with capital, what it allows you to do is outsource a lot of the time-consuming tasks. So you can hire a virtual assistant to find profitable products for you and do admin and things like that. Use a prep center to receive your stock and send it into Amazon on your behalf. So I rarely spend more than an hour a day on my Amazon business. I'm just reviewing the deals that my VA finds, doing a bit of admin, reviewing pricing, and that's it pretty much.
Yeah, very likewise for me as well. Most of my time is spent doing other things now. I've got purchasing outsourced, deal reviews outsourced. I still meet with my team once a week, just to say hi. I genuinely like them, and I'm going to go see them in November, which will be fun.
Oh, really? You're going to Philippines?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's going to be awesome.
Yeah. I still need to make my final plans, but I'm going to get a huge Airbnb for the whole team.
That's amazing. How many VAs have you got now?
I've got 4, and then 3 I manage for ATA.
Oh, yeah.
Our Amazon group, and 2 of them from ATA are also coming. So I'm going to have 6.
That's amazing.
And then me and my girlfriend, so we're going to get a big Airbnb, chill out.
How long are you going for?
I'm in Hong Kong for 7 days. I'm going then from Hong Kong to Philippines for 6 days, and then flying back to the UK.
Oh, that's going to be awesome. We'll have to do an episode where you're live streaming from the Philippines with the
that
gang.
would be awesome, wouldn't it?
Yeah, let's do that. No, that's epic. So the Hong Kong thing, was that your free flight hack?
Yes,
you found?
yes. So again, posted in the group, but since Hong Kong's tourism was so bad because of all the protests and COVID and whatever, they just released 3,000 free flights from the UK to Hong Kong. So managed to get one, and then I got my girlfriend's on points sorted. So free flight to Hong Kong there and back.
Yeah.
And the Philippines flight, £100 for the 100 quid each return.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, very cheap.
That's class. Oh, I'm very jealous. Yeah, I'd love to get out there next year. I've got a shitload of Amex points. So I've got an Amex Platinum, but I start to look into how to use the points, and then I'll just get pissed off with it, because it's like, you got to convert to Avios, but then if you convert to Avios, you can't fly back, and what if I don't want to fly British Airways or whatever?
Yeah.
I've got almost 800,000 Amex points.
Oh my God.
Ready to do something with.
Yeah.
So I mean, what can that get you? Do you know?
800,000. That's enough. So I think if you wanted to go to Japan, so that's a common destination, and first class, 800 to Japan, I think is around 500,000 points return.
Oh, right, okay.
And that's first. So business like 300,000.
Yeah.
So you have enough to go to Hong Kong. I mean, in Japan, like 3 times business or 2 times.
Wow. I need to start that. Although I would quite like to be an Amex Points millionaire, so I might hit that milestone first. Have you ever flown business or first?
I've flown business. I've never flown first. I've flown to Hong Kong before business because my family's from Hong Kong, so I go pretty regularly. And if you ever fly Europe, not worth getting business. I've paid with points for business to Amsterdam. Absolutely shite. would not do that again.
Yeah. No, fair. Yeah, I need to look into that. I've flown business once. I went to India when I was working at Vodafone. literally people were taking selfies with me because I was so much taller than everyone else. It was like
Wow.
walking around and yeah, people were just staring at me in the street.
You know, the average height of a person in the Philippines, a man, I think is 5'4".
Wow.
So people would take pictures with you there as well.
Yeah, no, sounds good.
You know,
yeah.
I got a hotel in Manila, the capital of the Philippines, for £30.
£30.
King bed. It's got a pool and a gym upstairs. £30.
That's unbelievable.
What could you get for £30 here?
Yeah, and that goes to show, obviously, yeah, we're not paying these VAs much in terms of UK wise, but yeah, the cost of living out there is so low. It's actually, yeah, it's above the standard wage, and obviously if you bring a bonus scheme in, they can actually live pretty well from it. And
Yes.
So didn't Roy buy a motorbike or a car or something?
I don't know what Roy does with his money. I mean, the guy, so Roy, he's my first ever VA, and now he runs my whole team and has his own VA hiring agency. So he has a whole nother business now. And to be honest, he doesn't have to work for me because he earns like a much more on his agency. But he just works for me because we're homies. Like, we're really good friends, and I literally can't wait to visit him. You know, we poke fun at each other and whatnot, and I always just expect when we're on a call just for him to just pop up with a Gucci hat on or something, because the guy's balling.
Yeah. And you got him by accident, right?
Yeah, completely by accident. I went through a different hiring process, and he got sacked from his previous employer. And the agency messaged me like, "Oh, do you mind it because he's just recently been sacked? Do you still want him, or do you want us to find someone else?" I was like, "Yeah, let's try him out." And the rest is history.
Yeah, it might have gone on a very different path had you said no to that.
Yes,
It's funny that the little decisions that you make can have a massive impact.
Absolutely love that guy. He is a bundle of joy.
And yeah, we've had him on ATA, haven't we, to do a sourcing video.
Yes.
We need to get him on again.
We could have him on one of these screens actually.
That'd be class.
Cool.
Yeah. Well, we'll do it live from the Philippines in November. But yeah, let's bring him on for an episode. That'd be good.
Yes. Oh, okay. Fun little Filipino fact I recently learnt, and I bet no one knows this, is that I think there's been 12 or maybe 20 murders because of the Frank Sinatra song "My Way." So karaoke is really popular in the Philippines, and if you play that song and you sing it out of tune, it actually incites rage in the blood of these Filipinos.
That's incredible.
And they murder people. Over 10 years, there's been like 20 murders just because of "My Way."
That is incredible.
Yes, if you ever go to the Philippines, do not put that on the karaoke.
So what's your karaoke song going to be when you go out there?
Oh, fuck. I mean, all of my VAs are talented singers, so I do this really funny thing.
How do you know all your VAs? What do you do in your team meetings?
Yes, yeah. So if you're a new team member, during Christmas, you have to be a part of the talent show. So you have to do a song or like show off a talent or something. All of them sing, right? Crazy voice. They can play the fucking guitar. They're singing Bruno Mars. I mean, like, they're good enough to be pro singers. And it's just because in the Philippines there's such a culture around karaoke that every party they'll rent like a karaoke machine. They just sing all the time.
So are you going to have one for your
oh, definitely. Definitely. I'm going to need some drinks first. I'm going to be absolutely awful. But yeah, just no matter how drunk I get, remember, no Frank Sinatra.
Yeah, you may never come back.
Yeah. Isn't that insane?
That's ridiculous. Yeah, I'm definitely going to fact check that because that sounds too insane to be true. But...
Please do. If you're listening, please do.
No, good stuff. So yeah, if someone's listening to this and wanting to get into Amazon, so like, right, I've heard enough, I want to start now, what would your advice be to them?
I would say, got to open up your Amazon seller account, get a professional account. It's £30 a month. Just do it, regardless of whether you're going to 100% start or not. I think just get the account, because that's honestly 90% further than everyone else. They don't even make the account. And once you've got that £30 coming out every month, it does give you a little bit more motivation to actually start. And then I would just get this app called SellerAmp. It's like £12, £13 a month. And that will give you access to pretty much everything you need. It's got a profit and ROI calculator, tells you how much the fees are going to be. It's really your one-stop shop for finding a profitable product on Amazon. Mm-hmm. Then you just need to find the products, don't you?
Yeah.
Retail Arbitrage is good. Going into Home Bargains and B&M. Just use your phone, scan a little barcode on there. We'll bring up the Amazon product. You can punch in how much it costs, how much you're planning to sell it for, and it will tell you your profit and ROI. And then there's online So buying from stores, which is predominantly what me and Ben do, buying from online retailers that are running like clearance sales or discount codes or whatever, stuff like that, and just buying out their stock and then selling it on Amazon for a regular price. Yeah, I think a misconception is a lot of the time, we're kind of price gouging people, where like the printers, definitely. I'll hold my hands up to that.
We were basically scamming people at that point.
Yeah, I'll hold my hands up to that. But, now 90% of the stuff I sell is pretty much like at a regular price, maybe slightly higher than regular price, but it's nowhere near price gouging. It's just because we got it on a discount or a clearance or something.
And but when I first started, I thought, right, this is just going to be a lockdown thing. Yeah, I'm going to make hay while the sun shines and then go back to my day job or whatever. But I've found that it's just grown and grown from there, because I think people are just used to the convenience of Amazon now. And yeah, people do pay over the odds, but they're either too stupid to realise or too lazy to care. I mean, I'm guilty of it as well. If I want something, the first place I'll look is Amazon, because I can get it same or next day. And yeah, I know I'm paying over the odds. And yeah, but by the way, when you get Keeper, so Keeper is the sort of sales data graph. So Seller Amp SaaS shows you the profitability, as Gage mentioned. Keeper shows you all the sales history and data, so you can see that on a nice graph, or you can see the data points as well.
Has historical data on every single product on Amazon. It's pretty crazy.
But it will ruin your personal purchasing on Amazon, because if you want to buy a toaster, you'll be like, oh fuck, it was £10 cheaper yesterday, bollocks. And then you'll set a Keeper tracker on it and then wait for the price.
I'm 100% guilty of that.
Yeah.
I will not buy something if it was cheaper, like within the last 3 months. I will set a monitor for that product and wait until it goes back to its regular price before I buy it.
Yeah, it's an addiction.
I think a lot of people use Amazon over like looking on other sites because they hate paying delivery fee as well.
Yeah.
So if you want to buy a £15 item, you're not going to get free delivery anywhere. You don't. I think psychologically, people would rather pay £25 on Amazon than pay a £4 delivery fee.
Yeah, literally. I mean, £25 and free delivery. People are like, yeah, but £20 and £5 delivery. Fuck that.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, so so if you're looking to get started, I'm actually going to do a quick video showing you the steps that Gage mentioned. So I think we can we can pop it up there or something, if that's
just make the editor's job really hard.
Yeah, perfect. Cool. So yeah, I will do a video on how to start it. So check that out if you want to get involved. Yeah. So I never really got involved in the whole sneaker thing, and I don't sell any clothes or footwear or anything, because I just think it's sort of a return waiting to happen, because people are going to buy multiple sizes. They'll try them both on and send back the one that doesn't fit or whatever, and then that becomes unfulfillable. So yeah, do you still sell clothing or do sneakers?
Selling sneakers on Amazon for the most part is pretty shit. I don't sell sneakers in the UK, but I also have a US Amazon account. So I used to sell quite a lot of like Nikes and stuff like that, but then I was doing well on the Nikes, even though you get lots of returns. Most of the time I would just recall the returns to my prep center and they just resend them out, because usually someone's just tried them on, they're too big, they're too small, they're still new. But eventually all these Turkish sellers came on the listing with like fakes, and they were pricing below retail. Like you get them at the Nike outlet and they would still be more expensive than these guys are pricing them. And they just ruined all of the listings. And then I realised, well, you're getting so many returns, it's just not worth it. Whereas, a couple of years ago when I was actually selling hype shoes, we were selling them on platforms where you actually can't get a return.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, so we use StockX or eBay, and people just can't return it. If they want to return it, they've got to sell it.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Or if you just sell it to the Chinese guy on your phone, then he's not going to return it either.
But yeah, I'm surprised that it gets littered with fakes, because I thought the whole gating and ungating process would sort of prevent that.
Yeah, so all you need to get ungated for Nike is just an invoice of 10 units from anywhere. So the way I did it, I just ordered 10 pairs of socks from Foot Locker. That's literally all you need. And then the listings were littered with like 5 to 10 sellers with no reviews. So they're all new accounts, and you go on there, it's just some like weird name, and they're just selling fakes. And then when one account gets shut down, it doesn't matter, because they got all the other ones.
Yeah, difficult to compete. So there are a few hoops you need to jump through to sell on Amazon. And as you mentioned, yeah, once you most people don't even get through the first stage. It's like, oh, do I want to be a sole trader or a limited company?
Yeah.
What does this mean?
And
the gating thing, as you say, you can just buy, if you want to get ungated for Nike, just buy 10 pairs of Nike socks or whatever. But a lot of people see the complexity of Amazon as it puts them off. It's a bad thing. I actually think it's a good thing, because it means that barrier to entry means that there's fewer people sort of at the finish line kind of thing. And every time someone's moaning at, oh, I've got to get ungated for this, I'm happy, because it means if they can't be asked to get ungated for it, I can, and then that's one less competitor on the listing. What's that?
A big thing I hear as well is, oh, well, you don't really own any of the brands that you're selling, so Amazon's going to kick you off the listing. I hear that from people that don't sell on Amazon all the time.
That's a common misconception.
And I think that's absolutely insane, because like 60% of stuff that's sold on Amazon is sold by third parties. So imagine if they kicked off third parties off their platform.
Yeah, it'd be crazy. And Amazon are taking 15-20% fees, so there'd be I honestly can't see it going away anytime soon.
The majority of their business is done by people like us.
And even for Amazon to Amazons. So obviously, some people, oh, that must be against the terms. No, it's completely above board. Amazon, so even though Amazon are selling it for cheap, they're presumably still making money on there. So they make money from you buying it, and they also make 15-20% on you selling it. So, like, why would they change that? Why would they change that? Why would they kick people off the listing? So, it's just, that's a common misconception on why people don't get started. So, what are your plans for Q4? We've got Prime Day coming up next week at the time of recording.
October 11th and 12th.
Yes.
So it's the first time ever they've done a proper kind of second Prime Day. So last year they did a business Prime, but that wasn't like a full-fledged Prime Day. So it's the first year they're doing a proper second Prime Day, and it's a perfect time for sellers, because anything you buy now, it's going to come and arrive and be at Amazon right at the perfect time when everyone's on Amazon buying Christmas gifts. So you're going to order it mid-October. It's going to get to Amazon kind of first week, second week of November. It's the perfect timing. So I'm planning just to go as big as possible, get everything I can at a low price. And for people that don't know, on Prime Day, they do lightning deals. So stuff will be reduced 60-70%. We'll buy it at the 67% discount and then just sell it at the regular price after Prime Day when they raise it. It's like literally that simple. So I'm planning to go really, really hard on that, and then try and recoup some funds before Black Friday, which I think is like 20th of November. It's late November, and I deliberately made my trip after, because I was going to go during Black Friday, and then Roy pointed out, like, don't come, because you don't want everyone partying in an Airbnb when Black Friday is going down. Yeah,
you want them all doing purchasing and sourcing deals for you.
So I'm coming the week after.
No, that makes sense. And honestly, the sales velocity of Q4 has to be experienced to be believed. It's unbelievable. You'll never be prepared for your first one, and you'll regret not going deeper, because things that usually sell 30 a month suddenly sell 30 a day. It's absolutely ludicrous. But once you've got skin in the game, the sky's the limit, really. So I mean, one business model that probably could be quite good is just focusing on Black Friday and the Prime days. I think you mentioned that before recording.
I think you could have a decent business if you just did Black Friday and both Prime days, and maybe bought like some pools and kayaks in summer. 4 days of the year you're buying, and I think you'd have a pretty good business.
Yeah, absolutely. And so it's not too late to get involved for this Q4. So start of November, if you start to learn it, get everything prepared, ready for Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and make the easy money in December. And then, but I've got a few mentorship clients who started with me, sort of ready to get set up in time for Q4, and they're going to be so spoiled by their first proper month being December. And then there's the come down from December to January is always very high. It's like, oh, this is what it's normally like. So January to November is kind of it can feel like a bit of a slog, and you do need to put the work in. But December is just completely different animal.
And if you do well buying in November and now this Prime Day, you'll be fine in January as well. So I'm very much looking forward to next week.
Thanks for tuning in. We've got lots planned for the coming weeks, so we've got some special guests coming in, and like, comment and subscribe. I've always wanted to say that.
Thank you very much, guys.
Cheers.